start with that, and we'll start down there with Mr. Hopkins, and he give us kind of a idea of who he is, how long he's been here, and just give us a little history of yourself. Okay? Mark, or Luke, I mean, Mark, Luke, we're John.
Luke, and I'm Luke Hopkins, running for re-election to seat B. I've been in Fairbanks for 41 years, on the Planning Commission for 7 years, which included a stint as Vice Chair of the Planning Commission. And upon my retirement from a full-time career, went to ran for seat B 3 years ago, and I think our Assembly has been doing an excellent job here. I'm the presiding officer for the last 2 years of my 3-year term, and I've worked on and supported items that have improved our quality of life and made borough government better, which included responsible budgets that were $3.3 million under the tax cap, worked on ethical issues with ethics for our Assembly, and responsible development. Those are items that I ran on 3 years ago, and they're still very important to me. So I look forward to this forum this evening, and thank you.
Okay, Mark Ames, also running for seat B.
Well, thank you, Dick. God bless you and the staff out here at KJNP. I'm a grateful native-born Alaskan American. I've been in Alaska for 45 years. I believe in communication, cooperation, and coordination. I'm a veteran. Served with the Eskimo Scout Battalion throughout North and Northwest Arctic Alaska. I was raised on a homestead here in North Pole, was born in Fairbanks. I'm a participant and observer of the borough and have been for decades, as well as a taxpayer and a landowner. I come from a family that's throughout Alaska, quite spread out. I'm an Alaska Interior State Heritage Conservationist, Preservationist, Volunteer. I'm concerned about our mutual history, common public interest, cultural state heritage, Alaska's historic resources, which I don't want to be divorced from, and I don't want to see fellow Alaskans divorced from. And with that, we'll proceed. Again, thank you for tuning in tonight.
Okay, then for seat I with Guy Santley. Right?
Yes, good evening. It's great to be back out here at KJNP. This is probably the 5th or 6th community forum that we've had this year in the last week or two, and it's probably the most informal and least structured, so we really appreciate it. It's great to be back out here in this sort of subterranean studio of yours. I've lived in Fairbanks for 38 years, started out in the Planning Commission back in the 80s. I helped work on the new zoning code, the Title 18 zoning code, try to make that sort of user-friendly if that's possible. I was first elected to the Assembly in 1990 and have served several terms on it, and was term limited out last year. You serve 2 consecutive terms, and you have to leave for a year. And so I enjoyed my year off, and I was encouraged to run again. People thought I did a pretty good job on the Assembly, and especially represented everybody in the borough. It reminds me, driving out here from north of town all the way out here to North Pole, that it reminds me how large our borough is, and that everybody on the Assembly, all 9 members of the Assembly, need to represent everybody in the borough, not just the people in the more populous areas, but everybody in the borough. So that's what I try to do, that's what I've tried to do in the past, and that's what I would try to do for another 3 years if I'm elected. Thank you.
Okay, and Del Rutherian, also running for seat I.
I want to thank you very much, Dick, for having us out here at KJNP. I'm a 31-year resident. I'm an attorney, and I have 2 girls. They're 19 and 20, and they're going to school at the university. One daughter is working full-time and going at night, which is going to be hard on her. My other daughter is a musician and is getting a degree in music education. My father, who's 90, is living with me, so I've had some changes in my life, but they've been good. I am presently the Deputy Presiding Officer, and I'm in my 4th term, and I have an opportunity to run again, and so I'm asking for your vote. And as we answer these questions tonight, I think you'll get an idea that I'm a consensus builder. I work very hard and try to get something that the entire community supports. For example, the ethics committee, which I chaired, in which we rewrote the entire ethics code. We spent over 6 months working on that, and we came up with something that everybody could agree to. And that's the type of person that I'll be on the assembly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Beverly. And then we have Dave Miles.
My name is Dave Miles. This is my 16th time running for office. I've always brought up basic issues like public transit and other things that aren't addressed by other candidates. I've lived in Alaska 32 years. I've run a lot of my own businesses. This week I have a flyer in the top class newspaper, the little free classified paper that the Frontier High School puts out. In it I described that early voting started today actually. Anybody can go down to the borough and vote early. The election is Tuesday, October 2nd, and it goes until 8 p.m. So there's many opportunities to vote. These 5 questions that I posted to the other candidates are if they are against the sales tax, we've always voted it down in this city and borough of Fairbanks. If they are for public transportation, that's been my big issue, and I'm so glad we finally have evening bus service. To increase the homeowner exemption, Wolfgang Kwok has been working on this issue and has a petition. Right now you get 20 grand or 20%, whichever is less, off your taxes off your home. This would increase it to 100 grand off your home before it's taxed. A basic step to help people stay in their own homes. We need state-funded land grant school funding to further reduce local property taxes. And I've always spoken about splitting the property tax off buildings so people are free to improve, and it would end idle land speculation, the great destroyer of civilizations that turns people away from productive work and just holding the land away from their neighbors. This next week, in the top class, I have statements by all of the candidates, and you can check that out. It comes out in a couple days, the next issue. I asked the North Pole City Council candidates to make a statement. Only one responded, and that was Victoria Thompson. Her statement was, a city can only be as great when its citizens are informed, cooperating, and working together. So I appreciate Victoria Thompson responding to that. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dave. You've answered probably most of our questions. Your opening statement. But